So
should I start talking about this plot?
yeah,
So
we love movies with plots.
yeah, plotted movies.
Yeah,
I watch it for the plot.
yeah.
That's don't look up that subreddit. What? You're listening to the dryer balls hit the dryer multiple times. Yeah, it sounds like something's happening. No. Anyways, plot.
Plot.
I should start to try to remember to do like this is where the spoilers are. If you don't want to do that,
Yeah, we
don't
love
do that.
movies that have plots. We don't like ones that don't.
I should just make it a habit. We need to make that part of the intro from now
What?
on. Hey, by the way, there's spoilers in this. If you don't want to,
Yeah,
or we should, or we should try
thumbnail.
to. That's true. We should try to. Sorry, a little behind the. This is how the sausage gets made. We should. It's gross, by the way. Don't watch how sausage gets made.
Just eat it and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's very tasty. You don't want to know why. We should probably like try to not do spoilers in the first part, and then in the last ones we can, because just let people ease into it.
Yeah.
That's mostly my fault. I do it more than you do. Anyways,
Yeah, we'll slowly bring up the temp as you're in the water.
yeah. So a lot of people die. That's my
Not
spoiler.
enough, to be honest with you.
Probably. You're probably right about that. All right. So Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, their family.
Yeah, father, daughter.
And he is a pharmaceutical exec of some sort.
watch out for good-looking Italian guys. Am I right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
They be out there. They're looking
And
for you.
Jenna Ortega is a motherless child. And
She also is having some epidermal issues.
yeah, she's got teen problems.
They made it very obvious. I was like,
It's
man,
very
they're
apparent.
really
Yeah,
they're really focusing
like
on
4 or
this.
5 of them too.
Yeah, they had her.
It has plot significance.
Yeah.
And he's got really bad allergies, like I do currently for some reason. Probably because Bonnie just wiped her whole back
Body
on my
up.
face. So they're traveling into the far mountain regions to go visit Paul Rudd's boss.
Yeah, it's some like reserve that his
Yeah.
boss owns because he's
Yeah,
super.
super mega pharma money rich, big pharma rich.
Yeah, I don't know if it gets richer than that. Well, I guess it does. Oil, all the guys in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know. I'd be more inclined to believe that pharma money makes bigger dollars.
Yeah, but
Have you seen Martin Shkreli?
They need that crude oil to drive their Bentleys and because they had a few of those. They had a Bentley in the
That's true, yeah.
carport. I think I saw a Lambo. It was like an old Shelby Cobra maybe.
But
So,
I will say, Jarvis,
those all run on
there's-
gasoline.
I know you take some certain medicines that should definitely be like a few dollars instead of like a few hundreds of dollars.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, your medicine's more expensive now? Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks, Obama. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. I like the old
it's
meme.
not. Yeah, it's an old meme,
I
but
like
it checks
the
out.
old meme. It's a good old meme. Anyways, they're going to this resort lodge thing of his boss because his boss is dying and he's going to take over when his boss dies or
Right.
something. And he's going to go sign a bunch of paperwork and meet the family and stuff, make sure that their interests.
The fam. He's gonna meet the fam.
Going to meet the fam. Full-time movie fam.
What about Bob? What's he doing?
Yeah, what is he up to? Honestly, this movie would have been better if Bob were a part of it.
Oh, I agree.
Just throw him in there.
But he's definitely like his character from What About Bob? And
Yeah,
he just randomly shows up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. On their way, they hit a unicorn. They just hit it. It's like dying, and Paul Rudd's got to put it out of its misery. And Jenna Ortega touches the glowy horn, and
She's like she
trips balls.
Yeah, she's tripping balls
I thought you
hardcore,
went-
and then she gets kicked out of the buzz by her dad beating the unicorn baby in the head with the tire iron.
Yeah. And then they shove it in the back of
Yeah.
their car for some reason.
Blunt force.
Yeah, blunt force drama. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
blood did get over both of them. That's important as well.
Yeah.
So they show up to the big, expensive woodland mansion, which is also in Minecraft, the movie, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Woodland Mansion.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I'm gonna do like an extra episode with just myself talking about the Minecraft movie.
That could be the post credits. Like it's just you trailing off about the Minecraft movie.
They get there and his boss is dying. His allergies clear up and his eyesight gets a little bit better.
We learn quickly that that he's looking to potentially pass the reins
Yeah.
of the company, and Paul Rudd has made himself the guy
Yeah.
for that. So and it's also very important for them that they meet the family because family is important to them.
Yeah. Very important. Jenna Ortega also doesn't have acne anymore. This is important because the makeup crew is so much happier now.
Yeah.
Shout out the makeup crew. I see you. And they start trying to sign paperwork, but the unicorn is no longer dead and is
Causing a ruckus.
causing a massive ruckus, which alerts everybody, including the rich family, that there's a unicorn in the back of the car.
Yeah.
And is now no
This
longer
little-
in the back of the car.
Yeah, this little baby unicorn can't catch a break, man.
No.
I can
It
relate.
died, and then it came back to life, and then it got shot multiple times and died again.
yeah, it literally got hit by a car going probably 70 plus miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And then it got its head cratered in by a crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got shot in the head
Multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can relate.
Yeah. And then Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega are like, yeah, the blood got on us, and now we're feeling better. And they go, say that again. Say that again. Well, we can't just, like, give this to a bunch of, like, forest rangers. We got to, like,
Yeah, they do.
love its and enjoy its life by celebrating it and learning its mysteries.
Yeah, they make some logical. No, I was gonna say logical leaps to kind of keeping this mystical creature to themselves.
Yeah, and it's very, very obvious that that's how they succeed in their lives, is by manipulating situations for their benefit
Yeah,
and trying to not look like the bad guys when they're
Which-
very obviously just trying to take a baby unicorn and shave off its horn.
which is weird because usually it's the poor people that do that, not the rich. But
Yeah,
in this movie, they're choosing
of
to portray
course.
rich people as the bad guys.
Yeah, this is like the reverse of
Manipulative?
Parasite.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, so that's a little twist that they added that I was like, okay, that's unique and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a fun little thing to be like, yep, this is how people manipulate
Yeah,
in a very like heavy-handed way.
yeah.
So they bring the unicorn in, and Jenna Ortega's like, hey, this is probably a bad idea. We should probably like not do this and
Yeah,
just put it back outside.
She's had a connection to this unicorn.
Yeah.
She experienced
A
Something
near
was-
weird death thing.
yeah. She created a neural link through that unicorn.
Oh, Neuralink. Buy yours today. Don't. By the way, that's besides anything that's going on in the world, just like don't let other people put things in your brain. That's weird.
Especially half dead unicorns.
Yeah, do
As
not
we-
put
as we
weird
find out.
half-dead unicorns into your brains. So they continue to try to experiment with. I like this angle. They try to experiment with the blood in the horn of the unicorn and seeing if it could maybe cure this rare cancer that this dude is dying from, and it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. They grind it up without fully knowing what's going on with it.
And inject it into his bloodstream.
Yeah, which probably you should caution.
Yeah,
you
don't
should- you
just
should-
put weird shit in your blood.
Espe-
That's also
especially from mythical creatures that you know nothing about,
true.
that
Yeah.
you didn't even know existed like an hour before.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if you're on your deathbed, fuck it.
Yeah, I guess, right?
cares?
What's he got to lose?
So it makes him better, and he goes, "This is great. We need to drain it of its blood and shave off as much of the horn as possible, and turn it into an antidote. We're going to be massively rich off of unicorn cancer medicine."
Yeah.
And the scientists are like, "Well, we only have the one unicorn, so we don't really have that much of the supply." And they go, "Guess we're going to sell it for top dollar to only the richest people with the most severe problems."
Yeah, and then they go into like grassroots.
No, that's later. That happens a little bit
Yeah,
later.
it's like grassroots type stuff. They're like, get on the phone.
Yeah,
make
they're
some calls.
getting on the phone, calling all their rich friends. They basically sell what they believe to be all of it, and are like, "We have so much money, and now you're set for the rest of your life, no matter what." And Jenna Ortega's like, "Hey, maybe we should put it back. I found this weird tapestry in the cloisters that Mom brought us to before she died. You know the cloisters. You love the cloisters." And he's like, "I don't remember what you're talking about." She's like, "The cloisters. That whatever." Anyways, there's the tapestries, and the tapestries tell stories about the unicorns and how they were imprisoned, and then they started killing people because they were imprisoned, and they didn't like it because they were taking advantage of them. And they go, "Whatever, teenage girl. We're going to do it anyway."
Yeah, not only is she young, she's a female, so obviously nobody listened to her.
Right. As is the truth.
And turns out, surprise, again, a shocker, she happens to be the smartest one and knows the most about how to get them out of this situation.
Yeah. Will Poulter did just continue to say the craziest shit the entire
Oh, but
time.
dude, he was so good though.
He's so
good
funny.
as the comedic, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Because it wasn't
foil or
like,
whatever.
I'm going to say something funny. It was like, I'm going to say something completely seriously, and it's going to be the most insane thing you've heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he, not to jump ahead, but he just starts at some point snorting unicorn horn.
Just start snorting unicorn horn. I can solve this. That's a little bit later, though.
Yeah.
You're right.
Before everything completely starts going crazy.
So they also, I think this is about the time where they noticed that the unicorn's like healing itself, sort of. And so they're like, "Hey, we should probably transport this thing and do more testing." I don't remember why they were transporting it.
I think they were just...
Yeah, there was... Oh, yeah, right. Because the horn was doing weird electromagnet stuff, and it was causing the
it
the
was
power to
sending
go
out a homing beacon to Mama and Papa.
And they didn't like that, so they were trying to get it out of the house. But before they could get it fully out of the house, Mama and Papa show up and start tearing into people.
I wanna note here that at this point in the movie, Jenna Ortega's character has said at least 15 to 20,000 times that this is a bad idea and that we should just leave.
Yeah, because people
and
will start
leave the
dying.
unicorn outside.
Yeah.
and just be done with it and leave.
Yeah.
It was really annoying me. Paul Rudd's character, the dad, it was so annoying. I'm like, bro, at what point do you choose your daughter? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
At what point do you like listen to her and like make her feel like you care about her as a person?
Right.
Because that was definitely.
But he was seeing dollar signs.
It's all about the dollar bills.
He was seeing financial stability for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, she wasn't interested in that. She just wanted her papa.
This is no longer a podcast. It's just Millie getting pet for an hour.
I really enjoy the different angles of Millie getting
I don't have a dog, so
Yeah, you're enjoying this as much as she is.
I'm spoiling her with pets and ear scratches and all the good stuff that she can get that from me.
Millie used to not like Jarvis, believe it or not. I'm sure that's something that everyone could definitely believe right now at this moment.
Wow, I'm just so unlikable.
Yeah. So they put the unicorn back in the house, and they're like, "We'll figure out what to do later." And the adults go and talk, and Jenna Ortega's like, "We need to put the baby back." And Will Poulter goes, "Cut the horn off right now."
Those unicorns were like, "I want my baby back, baby back, baby back." That's an old thing.
They saw money signs and said hunting.
Chili's. Yeah, so the boys went out to go hunting.
The main doctor got impaled by Papa Horse first.
So they have to go hunt down the animal before it causes more
Oh yeah,
havoc.
they're like, look, we've wounded it.
Yeah.
We need to.
So party of men go out and only 2 return. And Will Poulter stays home because he can't find his crossbow.
Yeah, and he blamed the butler, who was also hilarious. He was so good.
I loved him.
I forget his name, but he's been in a
I'll
lot
have
of
to find out.
stuff.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You
Look
want the
that up.
actor or the character name?
Yeah, both. But he's amazing. I love him. He's in. Did you watch the show Barry with
Griff.
Bill Hader? Yeah, Griff.
Anthony Carrigan.
I love that part with Will Poulter where he's like, hey man, get in the hot tub with me.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't have any swim trunks, and he's like, Griff.
Did you like?
He needs
anytime-
some trunks.
Anytime
He's
Will
like, no,
Poulter
no.
needed something, you just go, Griff,
Yeah,
Griff. No matter what time of day it was so funny.
yeah. Griff was great. I love Griff.
Yeah,
We love Griff.
we do love Griff. Griff was the only person to survive.
Well, that we know. Yeah, that's true. Because we're kind of at the end where we're not sure about
Yeah.
a few people.
That's true. So
So
they
so
go
Doctor
unicorn
gets impaled.
hunting.
Yeah,
Will
they go unicorn.
Will Poulter goes to the other scientist and goes, "I want that horn off immediately," and steals
Do
some unicorn dust to
He's
go
like,
snort.
do it for your mentor who gave his life
Yeah,
by getting stabbed in the heart with it by a unicorn.
yeah, you got to do it for science and for love.
Yeah.
And
He's like he would want you to. They're very good at spinning things.
They
this
are.
family.
And Jenna Ortega goes and hides in the car.
I think at this point the patriarch, doesn't he die at this point? He's already dead.
No, this happens.
They went hunting.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving because y'all are
Right. Yeah. Well, she's doing
Oh.
something while they're all doing their other stuff.
Well,
She was.
upstairs, and then she heard everyone coming back. She couldn't hear
Oh yeah,
Well-
yeah.
the tapestry said that they're gonna kill.
Yeah, they're gonna
the
kill
daughter,
people.
she's a little liar. She didn't commit. She stared her dad right in the face and said, "If you leave and go with them, I'm leaving you here." And
Yeah.
She didn't do that.
No, she didn't.
But that's one of those things where like that whole tension is the same, and it happens so many times that it gets like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's just like, that's what I'm saying.
You're
To
right.
me,
It
that part
did just
got-
keep on ramping up just for nothing.
yeah, it was just like, Dad, you're not
like,
listening to
yeah,
me. You're not
Jenna-
choosing me. You're not.
Jenna
listening to me.
Ortega's character didn't have any stakes really. Her stakes were my dad might die or we might die if we don't listen. But we knew
She
that
was
she wasn't.
she was the plot device.
Yeah.
because
We knew it wasn't
according to
gonna
the
happen.
story, is a fair maiden.
Yeah. Which we learn about after the men return, and they're like, we didn't get any unicorns, and then both of the parents show up, and he's like, oh, I'll just Snow White this. Hello, unicorns. And then he gets stabbed, and everyone goes, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, it's so funny because you see the rich people's like their delusion, and even his wife Taylor, which is I love Taylor. I love like the movies that she's in. She does a really great job. She does a great job in this movie. But even her, like, she's like, oh yeah, my husband's got this.
Yeah.
As he's reaching for the unicorn horn, and then he gets stabbed right
Yeah.
in front of them and dies.
And she's like
immediately.
losing it.
yeah.
She goes crazy after this.
Yeah.
And then this is where we get a long chase scene around the house, basically,
Yeah.
of the unicorns hunting everybody inside the house. The mom dies. Oh
Yeah,
no!
And these unicorns, I want to make note for the people who haven't seen it or don't know. These unicorns have fangs,
Yeah,
like long.
their horns are
tusk-like.
crazy looking.
Yeah,
Well, first, Jenna Ortega's character convinced them that they should give them their baby back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That is what happened. Is Jenna Ortega convinced them to give the baby back.
yeah. Griff and the second doctor,
Yeah.
and that it
They
doesn't
get
go too
sent
well.
out.
It doesn't go too well for the second doctor.
The horn got cut off.
Yeah, and they didn't have the horn with them.
Well, yeah, that part did annoy me. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, dude? Like, I feel like
Yeah,
Paul
Paul
Rudd's
Rudd
character is
did
like, at
take
this
the
point,
horn.
you're just incapable of making a correct decision.
Right.
Like, we haven't seen you make a correct decision this whole movie.
Right.
So
So,
that was
more
a little
people
annoying.
die because he made a bad choice. And then chase happens, and then
Yeah.
eventually him and Jenna Ortega are up in a room, and he's like, I did a bad thing. I gotta give them back this horn, I guess. And then Will Poulter gets Jenna Ortega and hides her out in the backyard and goes, "This is how we're gonna end this. You're going to subdue them."
Yeah, he gets high on unicorn dust, and he apparently it makes him a little bit smarter because he figures out that Jenna Ortega is the key. You know, she talked about the tapestries and stuff like that. He's now able to understand them a little bit, and he says, "Oh yeah, they won't hurt her." He figures it out.
Yeah.
Somehow.
So she subdues the unicorns, and Paul Rudd shows up, and he's like, very good. We can both take the horn and be business partners and solve this forever and live happily ever after." And Paul Rudd goes, "You can take the horn and shove it," and shoves
he shoves it into his stomach cavity.
Yeah. And so he dies. Will Poulter dies. But Will Poulter also shoots an arrow from his crossbow into Paul Rudd and stabs directly into what I assume to be a vital organ because of how quickly he's dying.
He dies. He dies very quickly.
And Jenna Ortega is an orphan now, but it's okay because the unicorns like her. And the
she gets adopted by the unicorns.
Does get adopted by the unicorns
and lives in the mountains with them forever.
Yeah. At least that's how I thought it was going to end for a minute there.
Yeah,
so the unicorns start rubbing horn, and their baby comes back to life, and then the baby starts rubbing horn with them, and Paul Rudd's back to life.
Yeah, they heal him,
and then they get arrested by the police.
So you know what?
Griff go get the police because people were dying.
He was doing a good job by getting police, but then the timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah, because there was no way to explain that one.
Yeah, it reminded me of Get Out when the cop light's going. You're like, oh no, and it looks so bad because there's a dead white girl.
Except when that
there.
happened, it was very well done.
Yeah, because it was the buddy. But this time it wasn't, and it looks very bad.
And then they're being taken out, and they're like, "It's fine, we'll get out of this. We'll figure it out. It's a good thing I'm a lawyer." Ha ha ha! And then the unicorns show up and shove the police car into the lake.
They're like, "Hey, you're our best friends now. Let's
kill
protect
you." I don't think that's what happened. I think the whole thing was to encompass the secret of the unicorns.
I think Sybil's right on this one, for how it goes. But I also, in my head, will believe you more than that one.
Okay.
I think Sybil's actually right, but I like your interpretation better.
But yeah, the
unicorns just kills them all.
Okay, they're all dead. Who cares? Thanks for saving my baby, fuckheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Bring him back to life for what?
They were saving his life.
Yeah.
That's why they looked in the eye and they're like, "We better hold each other. We're getting you out," kind of thing, so they can now communicate.
Sure, that's what was happening. Or it was hey, hold your daughter tight. We're taking you to your wife.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for helping us reunite our family. We were going to reunite you with yours.
Yeah.
Reunite. Sorry. I'm just like dropping syllables out of words.
It's okay. In this economy, we can't afford syllables.
Right? Yeah. Who can afford syllables these days, man? With inflation.
I don't have syllables. I just have symbols.
With all these. Oh, nice, beautiful. With all these syllable tariffs, dude, we can't handle it.
Yeah, true.
The tariffs are too much.
Yeah, we get ours imported. That's the end of Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah, I think so. It's such a I feel like a pretty cool, unique idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like, the idea that unicorns are real, that they're actually kind of terrifying, and not to be messed with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very unique idea to take mythology and add stakes of like a horror movie to them.
Yeah.
Just for it all to culminate into a bad ending.
Because normally when you think
that's what every Ari Aster movie is.
This was just a commentary on rich people.
I think that somebody went, hey, we could take the themes of an Ari Aster movie and satirize like people.
They're all like characters.
They are all caricatures.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, again, it's not a bad movie by any means. It's a really good movie, if anything. It's just,
Yeah,
I think it falls short a little bit.
Yeah, I think Paul Rudd should have been funnier. I think he should have had more funny moments.
Yeah.
I think he should have been less of an asshat
Do you want to
towards
know?
his daughter.
I think I just figured out what this kind of reminds me of, and this is a weird. Stay with me on this one. In high school, I created a short horror film, a satirical horror film called Shell of a Man, which was a weird horror movie that caricatured people in it, but also had an ambiguous ending. And no, that's not why I hate it. And I think that my problem is this with this movie's ending is the same problem that my high school theater director had with my short film, which was when you give someone an ambiguous ending, you don't give them anything to cling on to for the end of the story. You're
Well, I
basically
mean-
ending it 15 minutes early.
But what's ambiguous about knocking a car off a
What happened to the
a
characters?
mountain? Yeah,
There's a story beat at the end of every story, which is the return, which is you bring the characters and who they are now back to where they were at the beginning of the story and see how they've changed.
yeah.
And we
Would you-
had a short car ride where Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega were like buddy instead of at odds with each other, and we're just supposed to take that as the end.
Yeah, like he didn't choose earlier to chase money and kill an innocent animal over his daughter.
We didn't get an ending to the story. We got an ending to a character arc.
Yeah, and
I know that you disagree with me a bit on this. I could tell.
would you have laughed really hard if it actually like showed the car at the bottom upside down, just like crushed?
I would have liked that. I'm
Like,
just
could you
kidding. I don't think I
imagine?
would have. Hey, you look good over there.
Look real good.
Have you thought about sharing your kindness with others?
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.